Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for August the 1st, 2024 here. First day of August. We're going to look at the National Weather Service hazards in the lower 48. Thank you for joining me, as well as the tropical update, and as well as any severe weather going on right now. Currently, we just have a bunch of heat that's gripping this country from the southeast to the Sun Belt up to the northeast corridor and also out west in the Big Sky country. Heat continues to be the number one thing here. We have heat advisories in the orange, excessive heat warnings for the mid-Mississippi Valley, River Valley, and Ohio Valley as well. And we also have flood watches continuing for the Appalachia, eastern Tennessee, and eastern Kentucky, and part of southwestern Virginia. So that's what we have going on here. Please stay hydrated, wear light clothing, take frequent breaks, and this heat wave is going to continue into the weekend. So it's just something to keep in mind there as well, into the high and low deserts of California, into the Pacific Northwest, and like I said, and even over toward the New England states as well. Looking at this tropical satellite here, an Atlantic-wide combo here, satellite, we have nothing going on here. That big tropical wave that's passing through Hispaniola right now is producing heavy showers in Haiti and Dominican Republic as well as Puerto Rico got rain earlier, western Puerto Rico, Mayagüez, and Ponce, but now it's moving, continuing to move westward toward eastern Cuba, and it's going to be affecting some of the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas as well. And this wave is expected in the next 5 days to become a tropical depression, so we're going to keep close eye for the eastern Gulf as well as Florida. All entries from Tampa, Fort Myers, Miami, and also up into the Big Bend area should pay close attention to this system as it develops later on into next week. Also, we have a low weak wave here coming across here, and the African side here had no development is expected there, and it's pretty quiet as far as the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, and the North Atlantic Basin. A little trough here that could bring showers to Bermuda later on tomorrow and the next day here. So we have that outlook here by the National Hurricane Center: 70% chance, a high chance in 7 days that it can develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm Debbie could be forming here in 7 days. But in 48 hours, only a medium chance, 40%. So that's why we think in the next 2 days, because it has much so as to do with this land interaction that's going through. Obviously, the Bermuda High is steering it here. That's the steering currents here, but it's still not in a favorable environment with the land, with dry air in the mid and high and low levels of the atmosphere, as well as this land interaction. It has to go over high mountains of Hispaniola and the high mountains of eastern Cuba as well, and so that's going to help to disrupt the system somewhat here. But it's still eventually going to become a tropical depression, and Debbie could be the name that could be used once it gets into the eastern Gulf, because the eastern Gulf waters are above 29 Celsius, so that's very, very high octane fuel, and there's not much wind shear out here in the eastern Gulf, at least right now. So that's what's going to develop. Carlota is in the Pacific. That's going to become a hurricane probably by tonight or tomorrow morning. It should be a hurricane. Winds are at 65 miles an hour, pressure down to 993, but it's just a fish storm. It's moving away from land, and it's going to continue to move away from land. So it briefly become a hurricane through the weekend, and then by next week it's supposed to be down to a tropical storm, and it may be dissipating as it gets to the cooler waters of the Central Pacific there. The heat is a story once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's hot, 100 degrees in Nashville, triple digit heat, mid 90s all the way up through Boston, 94 degrees, 106 in Phoenix. Was not common this time of year, but just the stifling humidity has increased all throughout this area here. In the central part of the country, 102 in Dallas, Fort Worth, 104 in Oklahoma City, 100 in Kansas. This is going to continue for tomorrow too as well. This heat dome, this high pressure heat dome that's under, is going to continue to be sweltering. The dog days of summer is here, and it will continue. SPC outlooks for day 1 through 3 show slight to marginal risk for storms in the Ohio Valley, specifically if you're in Columbus, Cleveland on that I-70 corridor toward Indianapolis, down south through Cincinnati as well, I-75, Lexington and Louisville, I-64. Those areas you can experience, that's to have this a slight risk chance. That's say a 2 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5 chance, 2 out of 5 chance for storms to develop. Marginal risk outside of that, 1 out of 5 chance for most of the mid-Atlantic and down up through the Midwest as well. And day 2 and day 3, it subsides to a marginal risk in the mid-Atlantic and a marginal risk to the East Coast limited on I-95 corridor on day 3. And the rest, just general variety, garden variety thunderstorms. So that's your SPC outlook for today and the next 3 days. So, ladies and gentlemen, the name of the game is heat, and we're going to be watching that storm as we continue to watch the development. Tropical wave here is the name of the game here. And Debbie, we believe, can form, but it's going to be toward next week. So next week, Wednesday, next week, by the time we get to next week, the middle part of next week, then we should have Debbie or some type of tropical depression storm into the Gulf of Mexico here in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to be a big difference. So stay tuned, stay subscribed. Thank you for joining. Talk to you soon. This is the Weather Guru signing out.